G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road. Today I'm at the Sheraton Maldives Full Moon Resort and Spa in the Maldives. In this video I'm going to give you a full tour of everything that this resort has to offer and a review as well. And it includes a detailed look at one of the overwater villas and all the cool facilities and features they have here. Let's dive in. If you're a regular to my channel, you'll know that I've actually reviewed quite a number of Maldives resorts. And the Sheraton's an interesting one because it's the one that's probably the most similar to the kind of resort experience you might expect in Australia. There's a lot of similarities here, and I'll go through those as we do a bit of a tour in a couple of minutes from now. And that gives it a very kind of welcoming feel, especially for Australians, and makes it very kid-friendly as well. And ensures there's just lots and lots to do. Now, like every resort, there's heaps of pros and cons, and I'm going to go through all of them with you. There's positives, there's negatives. One of the interesting things about this place is that it's right next to Mali. Well, that's the new Mali anyway. The old Mali, the original Mali, is over there, and then they increased it and started building here. Now, this particular resort is one of the oldest in the Maldives, I believe, and someone told me that it's actually been, well, they've celebrated their 50th anniversary, so they're obviously older than 50 years. And all the some of the other resorts I've been to are like 3 years old. So that tells you a fair bit about, I guess, how much time they've had to refine and get what they want here exactly right. Not that it feels its age, I've got to say. I'll say that straight away. It doesn't feel like it's 50 years old. It doesn't feel old at all. But you know, when they first started here, you know, those buildings were not there. You couldn't see any of them. And but as one of the first of the resorts in the area, it's also like the closest. I don't think there's a closer resort to where you get off the plane than here. It's like a 10-minute boat ride basically, and you land at this dock right here, go into this welcome centre right here, get a really lovely fresh drink, meet some of the staff. Before you know it, you're on a buggy off to your room. When I was originally thinking to myself, you know, am I going to find out a problem that it was so close to the town? I've thought, you know, I've read some people say it's super noisy and it's not that great to look at, all that kinds of things. I barely noticed it, to be honest. Every now and again you get a jet plane going overhead because obviously the airport's there, but they're really not that common. Maybe, I wouldn't even say there's a dozen a day. It doesn't feel like it. Like every now and again you notice one. There's seaplanes going left, right and centre, but that happens at all the resorts. Obviously, if you're looking from this side of the island at night, that's quite lit up like a city. And there's quite a lot of tankers and boats like that going past. Every now and again one makes noise, but it's really not that bad. I've been surprised by how little the fact that we're right there on the capital city still hasn't really corrupted the experience at all, really. There's even still a great reef here, fantastic reefs around here that you can just go snorkeling and see a lot of wildlife. But anyway, let's jump in with a bit of a tour. So as mentioned, this is where you're going to get on. We'll take your first steps onto the Sheraton Maldives Full Moon. Don't know why it's called Full Moon. And the island then goes off that way for quite a while. It's a long island, and I'm going to go into that a bit. It's a fair bit of a walk, but we'll just have a quick look at the things down here. So you've got a pretty nice welcome centre. This is where you're going to start and finish the adventure. All these boats are theirs as well, so you go off on various little excursions. We went on that blue one over there on an excellent snorkeling trip this morning. Snorkeling safari is brilliant. And you can start to see some of the water sports stuff there, and it goes right into the lagoon around there, and that's very different on the other side of the island, which we're going to show you in a sec. But while we're here, I just want to show you that people are about to leave. By the looks of it, people have just arrived and people are about to leave. The boat goes back and forth a lot because it's so close. Now I've just managed to secure this bike, but I'll tell you in a second about the bikes, or lack thereof. So over here's the dive centre. And you can jump straight off here. It's actually a bit of wind up today. It's a lovely day, but it's just started to kick up a gust. And where these, so you can see these red buoys out here. So what they do is they're planting a coral reef, and we did this with them as a kind of an activity with the kids. It was really fun, and we basically get this big kind of steel frame that they've done up, but then coated in sand and everything, so it looks like it's part of the bottom. And then we tie little bits of coral onto it, like 60 pieces of coral onto this frame, and then swam it out there and dumped it in the ocean. And every 6 months they're going to update us with pictures of how it's growing. And it's part of they're working with a company, I think they're called Reef Sculptors or something. I'm so upset I can't remember what it's called. I'll find that out and put it in the comments. But yeah, so they're working with this team, and they're basically building these frames and jumping them out there. So when you swim out there, you'll see, I don't know, there's probably the best part of 100 of them out there already. And there's more around the corner of the lagoon, and they're thriving. And so not only are they building new coral, which then release coral eggs, which then go out through them, across the ocean for a couple of days and drift into all these places and help them recover from a recent bleaching event. But there's heaps of fish and wildlife. So you can just literally just jump off there, go out to that buoy there, and we saw sharks, I saw an eagle ray, there were turtles out there, heaps and heaps and heaps of fish, and it's just there. So that's pretty cool. It's not a house reef, in that you don't kind of like get to the edge of the atoll and it drops off into the deep blue and that kind of cool experience. We actually went over to the island you can see over there and had that experience. So it is here, but that was a really cool fun thing to do, and we've now got some baby coral to look forward to nursing into full adulthood. Over there is a place called Stingray Point, and this morning I said we were on that snorkel trip. We went over there, looked at the atoll, teeming with life, just unbelievable. Probably saw about 8 or 9 sharks, huge variety of fish, just incredible. And then we went from there over to this point, Stingray Point, jumped in there, and they threw a bit of meat into the water, and we were surrounded by fish. So they were just bumping into me constantly. Then huge stingrays, like, the size of that table, were then coming right up to us and brushing past us and touching us and all over us. We saw moray eels, a couple of different species of moray eels. I saw a shark, I saw a turtle over there as well. Super trip, really fun. Like one of the best things I've ever done, actually. I've never done anything like that before. And you can see behind here, so we're right on the dive villa here, you can start to see the start of the overwater villas. Now this is kind of the, I guess the quintessential room type that you're going to come across. I don't know why this one's albino, but they're pretty much all identical. I'll ride you out there in a sec so you can see there's a bigger one. But the whole way basically along this whole backside of the island is just water villas. And then on the inside you've got what they call, I think, island cottage, stuff like that. And that's, it's a different type of room experience, but still actually really, really good because the lagoon itself is beautiful, especially for kids. And there's obviously snorkeling all the way at the front of these water villas, but it gets pretty shallow as you go down to where we are, which is on the furthest end, which I will show you shortly. Hey. So what was your company called?
Reefscapers.
Reefscapers, all right.
Our Instagram is Reefscapers Maldives.
Great. At Reefscapers Maldives. There we go, I found out the name of them. No, it's okay, I'll film it. There we go, Reefscapers. So they're the mob doing that, so it's very cool. And a couple of marine biologists here as well, and they came on a snorkeling trip with us, which was really cool, because I got a chance to kind of like, we'd see stuff and we'd come up and say, hey, what's that? And they were able to tell us exactly what it was and the species of moray eel and everything like that. It's incredible just watching them dive too, because they're just like next level. You get all your snorkel gear included as well. So snorkel gear and non-motorized stuff like paddleboards and kayaks and so forth are available to you. All right, let's get on a bike. Okay, so off we go. Now, I am trying to hold 2 cameras and a microphone and ride, so fingers crossed I don't face plant. We'll see how we go. Now, they don't supply bikes to the vast majority of rooms, and there's a lot of rooms, so I kind of get it. There is overwater, you know what they call them? There's villas at the far end, not overwater, like almost like suites, and they get bikes, but they're the only ones, so it's kind of an upsell, I guess. Now, it's a long island, and there's a lot of walking, depending on where your room is. There's a lot of back and forth, and it's been quite tiring, and I would really have loved a bike. There are buggies, and you can order them and stuff, but they don't kind of come straight away, and they're a bit sporadic. If you're lucky, you want to come past while you're walking, and you can just jump on it. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, you're going to have to do a lot of walking unless you get a, you know, particularly lucky room. And of course, the more central your room, the closer you are to the noise as well. Right, so over here is the water sports. So like I said, we'll go in and have a look now. But like I said, there's all the motorised stuff is not included, but there's stacks of stuff you can do, parasailing and you know, but the non-motorised stuff, sailing, kayaks, that stuff, you can book it for 30 minutes a day. The most annoying thing for me is about the way that on the water sports is that they've got like 20 surfboards in there, and they won't let you hire one. So if you want to use a surfboard, you have to go on a surfing trip, and the surfing trips are exuberantly priced. Like, you know, like I've been to resorts in the Maldives where a surfing trip will cost you $45 US, including the board, and here it's $319 or something, you know, to go to the same places. So that's a little bit full on. And the thing is that they've got an actual surf break here, and it's a really good surf break called Tombstones. And so you can't hire one of their surfboards and go out there and surf it, but you can sit there and watch people from other resorts surf it. And it's really frustrating. I don't understand it. And then you can go snorkel out there, that's fine, but you can't go surfing out there. They've got 20 unused surfboards, and they won't let you hire one, and they won't let you swim out there. And you sit in your room and you watch other people from other resorts surfing the break at your resort. And like, it's not going to affect everybody, but I found it really disappointing. And just poor form in general. And I don't know the exact reason, but it feels and it smells like price gouging of some sort. Like, you know, like they don't want you just to be able to surf out there, because that's not going to cost much. They want you to hire a boat, which costs a lot. That's what it feels like. I don't know if it's true, but that's what it feels like. And it really upset me for quite a period of time, actually, because it was perfect out there for my son, and I would have paid to hire a board for him so he could go and surf it. But they just wouldn't let him do it. And so he had to sit there and watch kids from other resorts surf. So they need to look at that. That's just not on in my mind. But anyway, like I said, not going to affect everyone, but definitely affected me. So you can see one of the primos here. This is probably the main, but most of them are all the same, as you can see. And even though it's 50 years old, you can see a bit of wear and tear on the roofs and stuff like that. But she's going all right. She's going all right for her age, I reckon. Okay. Sorry, it is very difficult to ride like I am. Bear with me. If I was going to walk around here and do your tour, we'd be at it for days. Well, not quite, but you know. Okay. So, take it down to some further overwater villas. So I'll do a loop of the island first. What I do love about this place, the way that they've set it up, is they've got this really cool central area, which is kind of where all the action happens in terms of your meals, in terms of your pool. They've got 2 kind of hub areas, one kind of in the very centre, and then they've got another one down the far end of the lagoon, which I'll show you as well. But yeah, so there's your water sports in there. Wide range of staff, and I think you get a lot more than your half hour because there seems to be a lot of stuff not being used. In there's your reception. There's also a photo shooting thing, so they give you 1 photo for free. They take thousands probably, and if you want more, you can pay for them. So it's a bit of a classic upsell scenario there, but you know, absolutely better than nothing. You can go get one with your family and at no cost. I'll print it out for you and give it to you. Now in here is all your main restaurants and everything. We're going to come back to here. Alright. That was one of the marine-biologists actually. There's the kids clubs down there at the moment. So we'll go in there in a sec. Small overwater villas. Down here we have an outdoor gym, which I am very surprised to see. It is so hot, I cannot believe that anyone would use it, although my youngest son is desperate to use it. But you can see you got the ropes, you got chin-up bars, you got weights. There is a perfectly good air-conditioned gym. But if you want to sweat it out, it's there. Now down here, I like this as a nice touch. They got a place called the relax room. So this is if you kind of got to check out, but you're not leaving for a while. You've got a little space in here you can go, and just like keep all your stuff secure and just keep cool. So one of the very cool things about this island is that it's obviously it's a legit real island, and it's been around for a long time, and this place has been here for a long time, and so they've got some great dense trees. It helps keep it cool, as in from the temperature, and cool as in how cool is that? So that apparently that's 125 years old, that tree. So you get some really amazing stuff like that. Actually, there's a map over here. I'll show you. Right, so there you go, there's your map of the whole island. So we started down there. Number 2 is your dive centre. There's those big overwater villas I was showing you. You can see 119 to 130 there. They also look like they're 2 bedrooms, but everything else is 1 bedroom. And here's those island cottages I was telling you about around here. And then over here, which I'm going to take you to, those are those kind of special villas where you get bikes for whatever reason. And down here, you got a huge centre of activity, which is we've just gone past, which I'll bring us back to after we've done a loop. I want you to look at this map for a second. You can see here, you get to about here, and it goes all the way around this big loop back. It's really annoying because down here is where you got all your island activities, and if you want to stay in one of these rooms like we are, to get there you have to kind of backtrack all the way around. There's no way through. I think it's because the staff quarters and everything are in the middle, I think. I got Sheraton highlights here, so every single day this changes up. And so it's kind of saying it kind of makes it a bit more like an Australian resort, including that area in there, which I'll show you in a sec. But there's heaps of stuff on every single day for the kids to do. Fun stuff as well. There's this cool one yesterday where there was like a traditional Maldivian cultural thing, and we got taught how they climb up the coconut trees and cut down some coconuts and opened them, and we drank them, and then they had some local food and learned something about the local dress, and the kids were all there. It was really cool. And then today they're in the pool doing a whole bunch of like dances and activities and so forth. So yeah, there's plenty going on, which is good. And over here, there's only a few of these. Like they're 4 apartments basically in one block. I don't know if they've got connecting rooms or not, connecting doors. But it's just a little bit of variation in room types, help make it a bit affordable, more affordable, I'm guessing. So it's good that they've got that, I think. On this side, those are the backs of the island villas. So a bit more packed in than the overwater ones, as you can see. But they all face out towards the lagoon. I love these little swings they've got everywhere. There's hammocks everywhere too on these cool old trees. Very, very nice. Yeah, I do really quite like it here. It's obviously not like if you've seen some of my other reviews, I've done like, you know, the St Regis and Ritz Carlton and St Eva Gianni and those types of places, like they're full high-end luxury. But this is more kind of like a Club Med or a Holiday Inn. Like it's a little bit more, you know, I'm not going to say it's low star rating because that's unfair. The other ones are ridiculously high star ratings, or just high prestige. Yeah, it's a little bit more rough around the edges. There's a little bit more left for you to do. It's a little bit less personalised for sure. But it's also kind of cool because it's a little bit more like friendly and chaotic and more people around and more for the kids to do, and yeah, it's just kind of cool another way. We've got these 3 gardens. This is the orchid garden over here. You can look, it's got a fountain, you can probably hear it, and flowers. And over here is the honeymoon garden. So all the little signs you can see there got people's names on them. People have had their honeymoon here. Full garden, a load of them. It's pretty cool. And then you got over here an organic garden. So your welcome drink that you get when you first get here, they said all the ingredients come from the garden here, and plenty of the stuff that you eat at the meals all comes from in there. A couple of rooms here in the inside, which you might be able to see. Now we're coming up to my villa, or our villa. So we've got 2 villas, overwater villas. The kids, 3 of them in one, and me and my wife in the other, which worked for us because my wife wasn't overly happy about it, but you know, so far no one's sleepwalked into the water. So we'll come back to that. I'll do a full room review, don't worry about that. All right, now we've got the Adventure Club. Let's go have a look in the Adventure Club. Okay, here we are inside the gates of the Adventure Club. So not much to show you here. Got a pool, ping pong table at the front. If there's definitely, I mean, like I said, they've got a lot of really cool activities around the actual site, but the kids club is looking very tired. In my opinion, no water events, like no water slides or pools or anything like that. Just, oh no, maybe this spurts out water. Can't see, it doesn't look like it. Oh, it must do, look. So you've got the grate around here. So a little bit of water here. Water cannon. Bit of a tree house. Opportunity to go a little bit of a slide. So definitely focus on the very young in here. And tables and chairs. And through here, just a pretty basic play space. All the kids are at the pool at the moment. Hence why it's empty. Darts. Well, I'd say that's probably Velcro darts, but yeah, so not the world's greatest kids club. But certainly not fun. Okay, now over here we've got a bit of chess. Love these outdoor chess things. It's been getting a fair bit of use too, even though it doesn't say it at the moment. And then over here there's a whole separate island dedicated not just to the spa, but there's also a yoga, 7 AM morning yoga pavilion over there. Let's go have a look at the spa. and it's behind that spa which you'll find a really good surf break. It's a bit blown out today, but it's been pumping. But gotta get over that. All right. So yeah, as you can kind of see now, I think that's the staff quarters, which is interesting because we're obviously very close to the main town, but they've still got space for the staff, which is nice. All right, Ocean Villas, that was the name of them. There's all these kind of little tracks off here, by the way. Like lots of places you can go and explore. Heaps of crabs, heaps of lizards, the odd water hen, herons, and obviously just teeming with wildlife. I'm so impressed by the wildlife. Coral's not the best, very bleached at the moment, as I mentioned, but the amount of fish is just extraordinary. Right, so over here are those Ocean Villas. So they're very kind of private, walled off. I've got no idea what they look like inside, but see, as you can see, they all get bikes. They are at the very furthest end of the island, and they're probably paying more, but I really wish I could find a way to give everyone bikes, because it's a lot of walking. And actually you can go there to watch sunrise as well. So there's that little spot, that little alleyway that just went down there, where you can go watch the sunrise if you want to. You can also go to the Sunrise Yoga Pavilion. Ocean Villa bus stop. So yeah, like they've got these bus stops everywhere, but I've never actually seen anyone rock up. Like I've never seen a bus turn up. So there's no timetable as such. There doesn't seem to be someone just constantly driving around between them. I'm not really sure how they work. It'd be nice if there was just a constant rotation of them, and I wouldn't be complaining about the bikes. Yeah, so quite a large number of villas over here. You know, they're pretty private, they're pretty walled in, but the first couple that we went past are directly looking at the surf break, and like I said, there's constantly people out there surfing, just not people from here. And boats just parked there, and it's the same in front of our water villa, our water villa, because we're right at the end near it as well. So it's kind of feels like someone's always watching you. Yeah, that's why I don't understand the point of why they don't let you in there. But you always got the waves crashing against the walls out there as well. Okay. This is a meeting room down here. So they said sometimes they move things here if the weather's not great. But maybe they have weddings or something there, I don't know. But yeah, there's a full meeting room. And then, this is part of that loop I was showing you before. Ooh. Too tight a turn carrying all this stuff. We've got a full football court out here. Now they said to me this is actually a staff court, but they said if you want to play soccer, you can just ask them because the staff play every single day and you can just come and join in if you want to. Now we haven't done that. No, we have a good reason. I'd be happy to, but yeah, so it's pretty nice that they got that for their staff. And guests are welcome to kind of join in. Oh, here's a couple more of those apartment style buildings as well on this side. Now going back here, we have a tennis court. A full-size tennis court there, which you have to book obviously, but no one's using it at the moment because it's 1,000 degrees and there's only one idiot doing any exercise at the moment, and that's me. And then down here we have the gym that's not boiling hot. Let's go have a look at the gym. Okay, so there's the gym. I just want to show you this part of the island down here, which is really cool, but it's kind of challenging to get to. As I said, you've got to find a little gap, of which there's not many between these apartments, and then walk all the way around that big loop to get back to the main area, or you can just walk along the beachfront back to the main pool area, of course. So all of these kind of open up So if you're umming and ahhing about whether or not to get one of these rooms, there it's these 4 style ones like this with this hanging chairs and the tables and that. They're pretty cool. And on the other side, you've got the 1-story island cottages. I think it's definitely worth a shout. Obviously, it's not as nice as the Overwaters, but as you'll see when we get down here, it's a really chill little spot they've got in here. So they've got so many activities down here. Like I was saying, we climbed that coconut tree or something yesterday. A table tennis, bocce, some hammocks, darts, and they do lunch down here. I think dinner as well, you can order. Plus they've got a bar. And judging by that incredible burger I just walked past, it's good food. I haven't actually eaten down here yet. I'll try to before I leave, in which case you're probably looking at food that I filmed right now. Now look, there's a volleyball. There's a volleyball net, beach volleyball. I love the hammock that's in the water. I've been trying to get on now, but every time I've come down here, someone's already been on it. And so you got all these. I think there's these ones that kind of face into the middle, and you got ones running all the way along here, which have kind of their own little beach entrance basically, and little sun lounges. You got an in-water beach volleyball court, and this big awesome lagoon here, which is really quiet. You don't get the waves. It's much deeper. There's no reef. It's not sharp. You can swim across those islands. There's plenty of fish in there as well. Not as good as the other side, but still plenty to look at. So it's pretty cool on this side. And those little bush things kind of shelter you away from that harsh reality of the city that's just beyond. And then up there you can see that tree coming out and that heart sign, which is part of the sea salt restaurant, is back where that pool was. So we'll go have a look at the restaurants now in that pool area. And yeah, so they've got, I think it's 4 included restaurants if you get full board and that, or half board. So there's breakfast and feast, and then they've got, I can't remember the names of it. Well, let's just go down there. Okay, remember this tree? We're back. I forgot to mention before, back down that way, just near where I showed you the gym. Behind the gym, there's also a clinic where there is a doctor on site. So it's kind of handy to know, I think. And that's been pretty useful for us because my son got an ear infection. I was able to go see them and they provided some help. And you can see that's one of the kind of, I don't know what their name is. They're the Island Cottage, or they could be Island Lagoon Cottage maybe. That kind of opens back out to that area we're just in with the ping pong table and dartboards and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we'll look at this central area right now, next to a 125-year-old tree, which will hopefully be there for another 125 years. Although I think the Maldives might be in a bit of trouble if the ocean just keeps rising. Sorry about that. This is just a quick chat with the guy who organised all of this for me. It's his last day today. So we'll come through into this central area down here. And this is where I think they've done a really good job. This is what kind of reminds me of that Australian resort vibe. You know, you can come down here, there's people on all-inclusive packages, and there's a bar, a pool that's actually deep. It's like 1.9 metres deep, which, you know, so many of the pools over here, especially in Southeast Asia, are like, you know, so shallow that if you can't swim, which is most of them, you don't drown as easily. So here we've got a couple of the places. So some of them are extra, like the bar and Thai, I believe, and the sea salt. But then some are included, like feast and chopstick, the Anchorage bar and the masala hut. So those bottom 4 are included, as well as the hut that I showed you back in the back down by the lagoon. That's if you got full board or half board. So take it quickly down here. So this is the Ban Thai. So all these restaurants kind of in a circle surrounding the central area. It's very cool. The Masala Hut, so that's Indians. You got your Thai, you got your Indian. Sea Salt, which is your Mediterranean, which is just dinner focused, I believe. The other ones are lunch and breakfast, and some of them dinner. So we had a great feed down here on the first night and some cocktails, watching the sharks kind of come past. They got it all lit up really well. So nice lovely space in here. Doesn't quite face the sunset, but you get a good sunset from here. So that's pretty nice. Overall, I found the food quality to be not amazing. Some of the places are really good. Sea Salt was great. Chopsticks was great. Actually, no, the non-buffet stuff's good. The buffet stuff's been a bit on the average side. Yeah, that's what I say. If you're going and having kind of sit-down stuff, it's been really quite yummy. But yeah, the buffets, which are mostly feast related. There was another barbecue on the beach as well we had one night, which was also buffet. It wasn't that flash. So plenty of cabanas, plenty of space to hang, sit out, chill. Little kiddie pool here. There's a shower over in the corner there, and you can see this really awesome pool which really tracks everybody into this central area and creates this really fun vibe. You've seen my Bali Dynasty review. Or my Sunwing review. It's kind of in that ballpark, you know? Just kind of fun times with the kids. There's a pool party sign there. I don't know if that's for tonight or actually trivia's on tonight. My kids have been in here all day. I say, oh, that's chopsticks over there, so that's Chinese food. That was really delicious. la-carte's feast. That's your main buffet breakfast experience. And they do, I think, lunches or no, just do dinners there, I think. This is the Anchorage bar. So you can see you've got pool table, foosball that the kids have been using a lot. I love this bar. It's a great space. And you kind of come through here And it's got all these nice lounges. You can just sit down, order drinks, order food. You can come here when you're wet. You know, you come straight out of the pool and then come down here and just sit down and just order without any dramas. You know, you don't have to wear collared shirts and all that kind of stuff that some of the fancier places expect of you. And then this is kind of the end of that lagoon. So it's all good swimming along here. Not particularly reefy, not particularly the best for fish and so forth, but you still see things. And it's really great. You got the classic swings for your Insta photos. And you probably noticed the whole time I've been walking around doing all this filming in this tour, not one jet's come overhead. And there hasn't really been any loud engines or anything like that, so yeah, it's really not that bad. There's a whole bunch more kind of like beach things. They've got heaps of places to lie down and relax and sit, which I think they've done a really good job with. That's where the barbecue was, and it was actually, I wasn't amazed by the food, but the sunset and the weather was spot on. Alrighty, so here we are at our villas. So we're in 148 and 149. Now, there's absolutely no difference between them whatsoever, and I suspect it's the same for all of them running the whole way down here. Now we're at a pretty far end. That's the Spa Island right there, so we're like, what, 4 from the end. And as I was kind of saying before, I think the walk-ins is so much and there's no bikes provided that if you were going to choose a room, you probably might want to go a bit more central than where we are. But anyway, come have a look at the room. So it's at high tide at the moment, so there's a bit of water here and it's worth just picking up on that. If you have a look down here at the moment, okay, it's about a foot deep. Okay, low tide, that's just that's just sand. Just shows you how much it goes down. Because you can snorkel at the front here, but not at low tide. Okay, so I kind of like the look, the island look, the roof that they've done, the way they've done the roof in here, the browns, everything. It's kind of what you might expect. You know, the fact that this place has been around for over 50 years, I was expecting potentially worse than this. I was expecting it just to be a bit more dilapidated, but it's fine, it's perfectly fine. Now in here, I'll just show you, if you come around here, you've got a pool filter. So these are the villas with a pool. It's got a pool filter and your air conditioning. Now that's, on the other side of that wall is your head when you're sleeping. Now when I first got in here, I was like, oh geez, that's really noisy, that's gonna really do my head in. But it's actually been okay. It's actually been fine. I think it's because the waves lapping makes so much sound, and there's a fan as well. It actually hasn't been a problem, but if you're really, really light and you're really, really sensitive to sound, that might be a little bit of an issue for you, but you're not gonna get away from it here. You've all got them in the same place. Oh, one thing as well, they only gave us one card for each room when we first got here. Then we had to go back to them and say, hey, there's 5 of us, can we get 5 cards? At which point they did, but only one at one time, which is a shame because you need to put that in to get the power. Anyway, come through. So, cozy, for sure, but really nice. So, as you come in through your entranceway, you've got a bit of a little bar situation going on here. So some booze, some food, it's all gonna cost you money. Nothing's included, even if you're on full board. I really don't quite get that. Like coffee, sorry, you can have coffee, that's fine, that's free. But if you're on full board, I don't know why the soft drinks aren't free, but they're not. You got a little wine fridge down here as well, which is a nice extra touch. And then you got your actual fridge as well, which has got, you know, a couple of beers and soft drinks and wine, champagne, a few bits and pieces in it for you, should you want it. Little workplace over here. So it hasn't got the greatest aspect, you're not looking out over the ocean, but it does give you a little place to do some work, and it has been actually handy for us. If you do a U-turn over here, you've got kind of his and hers, well not really his and hers, just some space. So two big drawers under here, place for your bags, safe, ironing board, iron, hanging space, slippers down the bottom. You can go get laundry done if you want to, or pay for it. And then a bit more space over here as well, including some extra pillows. There's some robes as well. So that's what you got in terms of your storage space, so more than enough for 2 people. Now around here, we have obviously the bed. So like I said, your head's right up against that wall, and you can definitely hear the aircon in the filter, but the filter turns off at night, and that definitely makes a difference. And it's been fine up to that. Aircon's worked really well. The room's been cool every time we've come in here, and the fan is appreciated, just helps kind of circulate the air. I love the nice high top. It just makes this kind of relatively small space feel a lot bigger than it is. Now, this is set up as a 3rd bed in both the rooms. So I don't know if that's standard, or whether it's usually just a lounge, or whether they thought one of the kids were going to stay in here. But that's what you can expect if you're going to have a child sleeping with you. So that's your 3rd bed scenario. I don't know if they'll let you have any more capacity than that in here, but as you can see, in front of the bed here, there is plenty of space for a cot as well if you needed it. Bed is not bad. It's not super luxe, it's not crazy luxe off the charts, but it's comfortable. Pillows are pretty good too, actually. Softish, but not crazy soft. Pretty happy with that. Power points on both sides of the bed, always handy, including USB-A direct ports. It's worth noting as well that all the way through the Maldives, our Australian ports, they all seem to be, most of the hotels, I think all of them that I've been in, have power points which just seem to be universal. So the Australian plugs just go straight in. It's like, yes. Excellent. TV over here, life vests, and a little kind of food serving tray here. The TV channels have good reception, a couple of movie channels, a couple of news channels, not a whole lot going on. What the weird thing is they're not smart TVs, so they're not connected to the internet, which is a bit annoying. I don't understand why. This has the features to do that, It has a Netflix button on the remote, for example, but the Netflix app isn't there because it's not connected to the internet and there's no way of connecting it to the internet. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe they're just worried about people just smashing the bandwidth or something. Before I take you outside, have a quick look in here. So one of the kind of tight things I've got in here is this toilet space, which is really, really tight. Like my knees are almost up against the wall in there. So we've got this very tight toilet on one side and then a very tight shower on the other side with a rainmaker and a hose, and that rainmaker I can only just fit my head under. I don't understand why so many places insist on doing short showers. Why? Pipe costs like a couple of cents. Just go a little bit higher and let us tour guys have a shower. So in here, nice little basin, bit of bench space, not amazing, but as a whole it's large, but obviously really nice here with the bath and the shutters that just looks out over the crashing waves and the ocean and the reef. Very, very nice. Frames it beautifully. I love the way the light filters through. It's really, really nice. And over here as well, you've got a door to the outside world, so you can come in wet, in and out of the wet room, which is good. This doesn't seal at all in this room. So you can see, you might be able to see there, it's loose, and that's created a whistling effect when the wind's been howling through there, but you can close that door and not hear it. In the other room, that's not the case, but that's what it is in our case. So what I don't understand is if you look over here and the amount of space, I just don't know why they didn't make this that short and just gave themselves a bit of extra room here. Again, I think maybe potentially built by short people. All right, let's have a look on the balcony. So I believe there's pool villas and non-pool villas, I believe. Doors seal pretty well, not too bad. They're not the greatest, but they haven't done any of this, which is good. A couple of basic sun lounges, just pretty, unflashed material. It would have been a lot nicer if those are, proper cushioned sun lounges. They'd be a lot nicer, but better than nothing. A little outdoor sitting area as well. The pool isn't big, but sizes and everything. It's just so lovely, just kind of hanging out in it, putting your chin down on the end there, or having a drink, and just watching the waves roll in. There's been some incredible waves coming through here while I've been staying here, and each of these kind of villas has the same thing running along. It's really it's really lovely having the pool, and I've used it a lot. And so have the kids. 3 kids have been jumping around and everything like that. And obviously you've got your own private entrance into the reef. And like I said, the snorkeling around here is okay. It's just not very deep. And I don't know how that changes much seasonally, if it gets much deeper than that. I don't think so, because if you look at the ladder right now, you can see that it's at the step it's at the moment is not discoloured, but everything under it is covered in algae. So I'd say this is as high as it gets. And it's probably only about waist deep at this tide. At low tide, it's like not much shin deep. So if you get at the right tide, you can go have a little snorkel around there. There's plenty of fish, but I'd go to the other side of the island. The only thing that's a bit of a bummer with this one, 149 and 148, and I guess all the ones on this end, is that the sunset's right there. And we had the most beautiful sunset last night, and you couldn't see it because you can't see through these shutters at all. So I was trying to lie out here and kind of watch the sunset, but you can't. You can do it from the corner of your pool at least, so that's something. But yeah, so that's a bit of a bummer. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the room. Like, it's a small, confined, but fully functional space, and it's been comfortable to be in. And the pool and the outlook really makes it. And being on this side of the island as well, you're kind of looking out into the distance. You're not looking back at Marley as well. You wouldn't even know Marley existed on this side of the island. And for me personally, as a surfer, it's just been rad having that right there. Absolutely. So what are my thoughts about the Sheraton Full Moon, or Sheraton Maldives Full Moon? What are my final thoughts on it? Pretty positive. You know, I wasn't sure about this one. When as I kind of started, in my intro, I was really worried about the proximity to town. I was really worried about the fact that it was an older one of the resorts. It had been here for a long time. I thought that might end up in a stay that was going to be really noisy, really impacted by the city. be pretty light on with its reef, and also kind of, yeah, just be polluted a little bit by all the city stuff going on around it. Hasn't been the case. The city has barely even touched our experience. The reef that we've been to, some of the snorkeling we've done around here has been excellent. Having a surf right there is good. Like I said before, I'm gutted that they wouldn't rent a board out. That was just, I think that's just you should just say yes to that, in my opinion. But anyway, that's for another day. And in terms of the actual experience of being in the resort, you know, with all the activities going on, that really nice central area with that excellent pool, and kind of all the kids that are running around in a family-centric atmosphere, has definitely helped push it beyond, you know, the fact that the food's good, but it's not great. The staff, they're here, they're perfectly friendly, perfectly nice, but they're doing a job. You know, they're not really personalised, they're not all about, you know, over the top, you know, whatever you want, sir, I'll get it for you, that type of thing. If you really want that kind of experience where you're really weighted on, that's not what it is here. There's just people who are going around working hard, doing their thing, and, you know, just the next person that happens to be there. It's kind of a bit more of that experience. Not a big problem for me, but if that might be a problem for you, it's just something to know about. But overall, yeah, I happily recommend the Sheraton Maldives Full Moon Resort and Spa. I think its proximity to Mali, instead of being a negative, is probably actually a positive, because you're not missing out on a lot of that great Maldivian experience, especially with that lovely lagoon on the other side. But you've got that ability just to get here so quickly and relatively cheaply. So if you're coming to the Maldives, you can't go for that full primo high-end stuff, but you can get into a good resort all the same. Then look at the Sheraton. I think it'll definitely sort you out. Anyway, I'm Chris Stead. Thank you very much for watching my review. Make sure to check out my other videos, including plenty of other stuff from the Maldives. Until next time, I'm getting back on the road. Yoo-hoo!